Hakadosh Boker Tov, Masechet Nazir Daf Daled Amud Aleph 54A1. Okay, 54. Yeah, it says the Amar More says. The more says that when we're talking about tum'ah, which is basically a deceased person which is inside of a place which is closed. For example, a coffin. So tum'ah buka'at ve'olah, buka'at v'yoredet. What does that mean? Tumat, the met, it goes up until the rakia. It goes up until the firmament, and anybody that does ohel on top of it is going to be mitameh. And it's buka'at v'yoredet downwards. Okay? The same way. That means basically the tumah goes up to the shamayim and all the way down, right, downwards as well. And
if the corpse is
yes, for example, elevated so that it would be beneath it, if there would be some way. Nowadays, usually it's the crust of the earth. So I'm saying, but if there was a form of being underneath it,
does it mean if it's on the 10th
it would go.
If it's on
would
the
go
10th
out.
floor,
No.
and then
Yes,
all
the ones afterwards, all the way down. V'ilu gabe negia. Now to do a tum'at met that you're touching. Amar Rav Yehuda says Tanya, we learned in a Braita, when it says to do it that you're sprinkling the chatat, the mei chatat, to purify for tumat met, it says ve'ala nogia ba'etzem uve'chalal uve'met uve'kabe. And also this Braita, we're also learning the same thing. Ba'etzem is etzem kiseorah, right? That means if somebody is going to touch an etzem, which is the size of a seorah, right? So it's going to be mitameh b'magal masa, with touching and carrying. O bechalal is ever hanechlal min achai ve'em bo la'alot arucha, which is basically ever min achai, right? But that it will not cure itself. Ova met, right? Orva met is ever nechlal min amet, that comes from the met, and it doesn't have basar karaui, right? Because if you already had the basar, you already tameh because of the basar. O bakaver ameneshakiz, the kever shelifnei adibur. This is the kever before matan Torah, which is going to be mitameh b'magal masa. So says the Gemara, hi ever minamet. When we're talking about ever minamet, what's the case? If the ever minamet already has an etzem keseorah, which means it has a bone, like this barley bone, right? This barley, hainu anogya ba'etzem, that's anogya ba'etzem uvemet. So therefore, what are we talking about now? Ever minamet. Ela delet be'etzem keseorah v'afilu achi rachman Rabbi. It does not have a bone which is like the size of this barley, but rather it's still going to be mitameh b'magal masa, since the ever is shalem, which means that even though it does not have the basar karaui and it doesn't have an etzem keseorah, it's still an ever minamet, right? And therefore it's going to be mitameh. So Elmaleh Rabbi Yochanan is going to tell you, Lolam de itbe, really be'emet, it does have etzem keseorah. So if you cannot use it for touching it, because we already know that if you touch it, you're going to be tameh, so then use it for masa, for carrying it, even if you are not touching it. But sometimes it can happen that you're carrying it with your clothing or with other things, right? And you're not actually touching the bone. Okay? Fine. So where are the two dots? Two dots in the middle of Mundalid and Mundalif. Umazeh v'shlishi v'shevi'i v'soter. So you're going to sprinkle on the third and the seventh day, and then you're going to be soter, right? Everything that happened beforehand. Because remember that when a Nazir becomes tameh for tumat met, so he's soter that which he had beforehand. He destroys everything that he had beforehand. Okay? And he doesn't start counting again until he becomes pure. So so they ask the following question: when it says over here chitar, Shvikai doesn't mean that the kavanah is that he's already on the seventh day, and he's already going to be considered kilu tahor. Umani, and who is this? Rabbi Eliezer. It's according to Rabbi Eliezer that immediately after the hazaya and the shvi, you already start counting the same day, meaning the person became tameh. He was sprinkled the third day, sprinkled today the seventh day, and immediately once he's sprinkled today the seventh day, he's going to start counting right again. Well, Dilma, or maybe b'shminikai, we're talking about the eighth day. So what does it mean at chitar? It's not because really he's sprinkled on the seventh day, but he only brings his korbanot on the eighth day. So when it says at chitar, it doesn't mean at chitar with the haza'ah, at chitar be korbanot, with the korbanot which was one day later. So then you can only start on the eighth day. Umani, and who is it? It's going to be Rabbanan. So we have a question: is it the rabbis or is it going to be Rabbi Eliezer?
Who said that he needs to sprinkle on one day and then do?
So Tashema. Midiktani Sefer, from the fact that the Sefer taught miyad, you're going to start counting immediately. Hamireisha, it's mashman reisha mayachitan until you bring the korbanot av. Manin who is it? It's Rabbanan. It's the rabbis that they hold nezirut the tarat shminin lo chayla. It's not going to be chal, and you're not going to start counting until the 8th day, right? That a person already is now pure and he brought his korbanot. Now he could start counting his nezirut from noon. Mishnah on Nundale Damudale 54a1 says the 54a says the Mishnah Val asechachot ve'aperaot. We're talking about, the Gemara is going to explain what is sechachot and peraot. Well, beta pras is that you had a field that was plowed and there was a kever there. So now you don't know exactly where did the bones go anymore. Because imagine you have a body buried, and they came and they plowed the field. Now, when you plow the field, the machine comes and starts, and now you don't know where anything is. Yeah. So it says ve'eretz amim or chutz la'aretz, which Chachamim gazru tuma on this. That golel is the kisui of the aron hamet, of the coffin. Hadofek are the walls of the coffin, right on the walls. The oil hamet, the rova atzamot, and a quarter of a kavav of bones of the deceased. Ve'kelim anogim bemet, or any utensils which touch the deceased. Ubimeh sefaro bimeh gomro, and a nazir that became a mitzorah, whether it was bimeh gomro, which means it was a completely muchlat, or bimeh sefaro, which means right that when he was already purified afterwards, that it's not the same thing, that the tumat zarat is not going to be, that it says here it's not going to be soter neziruto, and he doesn't start taking off his hair. Al elu ena nazir megaleach. So in all these cases, a nazir is not going to do giluach umazeh, right? But he will do the haza'ah, which is the sprinkling on the 3rd and 7th day in order to purify himself. 54b. He also, since he's not going to be mitameh, so therefore, even though he does have to purify himself on the 3rd and 7th day, it does not destroy the previous days. And he's going to start counting, right? And immediately, the korban enlo, there's no korban. Okay, because basically, he's not. There's only, when is a person obligated to korban? When he touches a tumat met, for sure. In all these cases, he's not sure, right? He went into a field, and when they plowed the field, he doesn't know exactly where the met is. So because of that, it's not for sure. Anything which is not a certain will not destroy the count and will not obligate him a korban, even though it could be that he still needs to be sprinkled on the 3rd and 7th day, but it does not destroy everything else and does not obligate him a korban. Be'emet amru, and the truth they said, yemei azav ve'azava, right? If a person became if that means basically, let's say the nazir or nazira became a zav or zava, b'mei eskero shel mitzorah, or he became a b'mei esger of the mitzorah. That means he has to become, right? He has to check himself for 7 days whether he became with leprosy or not. That means it's not the mukhlat, it's not decided. It's a maybe. It's musgar. Hare elu olin, they also count for the days of nezirut. Okay, Gemara. Says the Gemara, what are exactly sechachot? Ilana mesach alaris. When you have a tree which is on the land, okay, and therefore the branches are separated from each other, and kezayit in a met is under one of the branches, and you don't know which one, so it's only safek tuma. So imagine you said you have the tree, and now you don't know exactly where the met is, but it could be that it's on and then you're underneath the tree. So you're not sure.
Like the Kohen in a cemetery.
Yeah, exactly. So that's called sechachot. That means that's like a tumah. It's a safek tumah. Or firaot. What is firaot? They're stones which they come out of a gader, right? And they're separated. And the gzayim amet is underneath one of them, and I don't know which one. So the same thing. For example, let's say you had here, it's like a roof, right? So over here, but it's not a full roof. You've got over here a few pieces like of bricks, right, coming out. So now you're under here, and you're under the bricks. Now, on the other side of the bricks, meaning on the other side, is deceased. So it's considered one ohel, but you don't know exactly where it is, right? And that's called piraot. Okay? Ve'eretz amim, what is eretz amim? They asked the question, why is it that in chutz la'aretz they made a gezerah tum'ah, even if there's no ohel? Was it because, that means you're going into a caravan or whatever it is, you're going inside. Is it because of gusha, which means the avir, the air of chutz la'aretz is going to be mitameh? Or is it because of gusha, because of the adama, because of the ground? That's what the Gemara is asking. So Tashema, we're going to try to bring a proof. You're going to sprinkle on the third and seventh day. And if you're going to tell me it's because of Avira, Hazal Amali, why do you have to come and you're going to come and start sprinkling? Yeah, the entire concept of Hazaa is because of Tumat Met. So therefore, why all of a sudden now do you need, right, this Hazaa like a Tamemet? It's obviously because of Gusha. What's Gusha? Because of the earth, because of Tumat Met. That means when they came and they made a Gezerah, and maybe by Met there's a deceased over there. Yeah? Which means like this, in Israel, they were very careful where they put coffins. Why? They know the concept of Tumah V'Tara. So they're not just going to put coffins anywhere. You understand? But in Eretz Amin, what's the big deal? Nowadays, it became custom even amongst Goyim that they're going to have a cemetery. That's where they, in the olden days, they didn't have money that they're going to start spending tens of thousands of dollars for a Iowa. Yeah. So what do? They used to bury them in their own homes, in their own, their own burial plots, your own yard. They used to do it, or they used to do it anywhere. It wasn't like anything changed. You understand? Answers the Gemara, really, I'm going to tell you, Shemishum Avira, that really was because of the Avir, that they made the Gezerah, the decree, because of the air. And when do we say the Mazeh B'Shlishu B'Shvi, Ashara on the rest of the things? It's also logical to say such thing. We're talking about utensils that touch the deceased. What? These kelim or bnei azah, which means that when you have a nazir that he touches, right? So it's going to be needed third and the seventh day. A keli which is only going to touch a met, which is ava tuma, right? But not a rishon letuma, and a shmamina, but rather it comes to teach you ashara that really bemet on the other tumot which are mentioned in the Mishnah. So when it says al kelim anogim bemet, right? It's talking about that. We're not talking about the ones which are mitamen chutzar. It's just like we answer, but rather it's going to be something else. And then we continue on Sunday with that maybe it's going to be a machloka tanaim.
This was for that.